Hello, beautiful people. It's been a while that I did a video recording, so I thought it's wonderful to reconnect again. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maria Shiko, and I help people to connect to joy. Because in my world, in my view, joy is extremely important. This is the main reason we're born to live in joy and health and wellness, having wonderful relationships, having the financial and all the kinds of other support to live the life that comes from the place of love, from the place of self-love that every single person on this planet deserves. The topic of today is a little bit challenging for many people. It is trauma. Let me speak about how I define trauma. It's anything that abstracts us from seeing how beautiful we are. I'm thinking of trauma as a lens that all of us, pretty much every single person on this planet, has accumulated through some kind of experiences. Remember that one boy or one girl who somehow challenged you or maybe made you feel inadequate in some way. So trauma is a thought in your mind that there is something that is wrong with you. It's a bit different from the way trauma is defined in psychology. And in psychology, trauma is thought of as a very difficult experience that creates a lot of distress in the mind or the body. So that is correct, because the mind and body are connected. And another aspect of trauma is that from the spiritual stance and viewpoint, it separates us from the feeling of wholeness. We are born whole, beautiful, amazing as a child, and I love the image of a child, especially newborn, that is so pure and wonderfully perfect. And so the thoughts that through some experiences maybe we thought we have no control over, especially if some of the trauma happened in the earlier childhood or in the process of when a child is still developing. Some of these traumatic experiences somehow make us think subconsciously, because they're deeply buried, and when we come back to being an adult, we think of ourselves that there is something wrong with us. The process of healing, and I am a healer, is to be able to identify those thoughts and enlighten them, so to speak. And the process of enlightenment, what happens is that we release those thoughts and we come more and more again to the purity of the child that we are, where we see absolutely nothing wrong with ourselves. So the first exercise that I invite you to do right now with me is either take a mirror, and I'll wait for moments, and if you watch this video again, you can have a mirror with you. So I have this compact mirror, very small, so it doesn't have to be anything fancy. And I invite you to maybe take a look in the mirror. And when a child looks at the mirror, it sees nothing but beauty. There is no repulsion. It sees, oh my God, that nose, those eyes, oh, those cheeks. And if you've held a baby recently, you would notice that a baby wants to reach for you and it wants to touch you everywhere, just like, because you're so cute. So that baby is seeing you from the standpoint of perfection. This is the lens through which a baby looks at the world. So when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, I would love for you to notice not your age, not your wrinkles, not your birthmarks, not the color of your eyes that you want to be somewhat different, and not how your hair is imperfect today. This is a faulty thought that you've learned to adopt to throughout your life. And instead, I want you to look in the mirror and tell to yourself, oh my God, I love you so much! I love you! I love you! I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you! To the point where you start believing it. You come to the mirror and you look at yourself and you say, oh my God, I love you so much. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And you keep repeating this to yourself over and over and over again. And it may take you 24 hours, or sometimes the first time you do it, it may feel like, oh my God, no, this is not what I see at all. I'm seeing something different. Well, at this point, I tell you, I do not care. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Because you know what? You are beautiful. I have never met a person in my life who is not beautiful, but what makes someone not beautiful is a thought that they're not. It doesn't matter whatever has happened in your life. It doesn't matter what life experiences you've had. It doesn't matter what gender, race, ethnicity, culture, sexual orientation you are, what your belief system is. You are beautiful. You are. You are beautiful. And the trick here is, no matter how many times I tell you that, or somebody tells me that, our goal and our work is to be able to look in the mirror and be able to see that for ourselves. I am beautiful. I am really beautiful. I am so beautiful. And I had a client today. I want you to keep doing this exercise every day. And when you go to the bathroom, at your workplace or in a restaurant, instead of correcting your hair and thinking, oh my God, what is wrong with my hair? Or, you know, my mascara leaked, or I have like a little bit big spots here and there, or my butt is big, or something else is big, or maybe it's not the right shape or the right height. Instead of that, I would love for you to look in the mirror and have the words of appreciation for yourself. And instead of criticizing yourself and thinking that you should be different of age or skin color or gender or anything else should be different in your life, really accept yourself as you are. Purely accept yourself as you are in this moment. I had a client today, I'm coming back to this story, and he told me that self-love may sound selfish. And I came across this complaint so many times. I've had so many clients telling me that, and I used to tell myself this all the time, that this is so selfish. Sometimes I also catch myself presently in this old habit. And what I know the truth is that self-love is really self-care of taking a good inventory of your inner world. Self-care and self-love means that you are the only one who's responsible for what is going on inside of this mind and this emotional body. And from that perspective, if you are not a friend to yourself, there is nobody on this planet Earth that can be, because nobody else has an access to what is happening inside of you. And being your best friend, being your best lover, being your best adoration and caretaker, playing that role for yourself, what this really means is that you're actually doing your job. This is your responsibility. The reason that nobody else can fulfill this duty for us is that nobody has an access to our thoughts and our feelings. There may be a good friend in your life, or maybe your parent, or maybe a lover or partner or boyfriend, girlfriend, who care for you deeply and they want for you to be healthy and well. And they tell you that, they really mean it. The thing is that they cannot really change your thoughts and self-attitude. Even though they tell you, I love you, honey, you're beautiful, you're capable, you're amazing, it's always very helpful but you need to believe that yourself. The reason for that is you attract experiences, and the world in which you live is a mirror. We are very powerful in many ways, and this is the premise of all the spiritual teachings, is that we have a choice of what we think and what we feel even, because thoughts and feelings are related. I tell you, I woke up this morning and I've been struck by a series of challenges that have transpired over the weekend. And the challenges are really not external. I could speak about those challenges as external events, but what they really brought up to the surface is some of the thoughts I was thinking and how I was relating to myself, my life experiences, and the world. I've been unlearning the habit of thinking negatively about myself, punishing myself mentally in any way. And yet it is still a work in progress, because I'm in a classroom like anyone else learning. Otherwise I wouldn't be here on this planet Earth. And so what I've done today is I went to the gym. And I don't go to the gym necessarily only to take care of my body, even though I enjoy the movement and I love how it makes me feel, but I approach it as a playground. And as I exercise, or maybe I go for a walk, and this morning I went to the gym, I took this time not to watch a TV screen that was above the treadmill or listen to the music, but I have a series of affirmations, just reminders for myself. And I started reminding myself of all the wonderful things that I have in my life, all the beautiful things that I have in my life, and also how much appreciation I do have for so many good things, the wonderful clients and the job and the money stream and support that comes into my life, and the body that is healthy, and the house that I'm grateful for, friends and family, and the spring and weather that is changing and so bringing so much care and sunshine. And so there are beautiful things. There are still things that I'm working towards. And in the past, what I used to do as a habit is criticizing what I do have in my life. And I thought, well, if I want something new, then I probably need to be dissatisfied with what I have: boyfriend, money, job, etc. And so in the past, I would spend a lot of time thinking of how unlucky I was and how unfortunate I was based on family circumstances. And I've had quite a challenging upbringing where I've been criticized nonstop at home, in school, and pretty much anywhere else. So the habit of self-criticism has been ingrained in me very strongly, and it's been taking me time to unlearn it. And so I approached the gym this morning as a playground. And a child in a playground would be enjoying herself or himself. It's not there to think, oh my God, I'm so inadequate with touching something, or I'm so inadequate, or I'm not maybe losing enough calories, or when I look in the mirror, I'm not looking quite well here or there. If I look in my profile, it's not quite right. If I look on my behind, it's not quite right. This is how I used to look at myself when I would go to the gym. And so now it's a playground of reminding myself of what is right, what is really right, not focusing on what is wrong. And what I've noticed is when I focus on what is right, it's bringing me so much joy, and it's uplifting. I came back home and I had a wonderful friend who stayed with me, and I was happy to see this person. I was happy to say that, how is your morning? How are you doing? And in the past, I would focus on what was wrong. So this is the second invitation for you as well. When you're maybe breaking down and you're reworking the patterns of conditionings that you do have, returning to your purity, returning to your light, returning to your capacity to live a life full of joy, then use those moments when you walk, when you exercise, And when you give time to yourself for self-care, not to belittle it and berate yourself, but to uplift yourself so that you are your own best friend. Finally, because we are still talking about trauma, there are many challenges for people to accept the traumatic experiences. One of them is the question of why, and I've heard it from so many standpoints. Recently I've looked at statistics. I think for most adults of adult age, about 70% have experienced some kind of trauma in their lives. I personally believe this statistics is much higher. I think that every human being goes through hardships. Otherwise, we would not be on this planet Earth if everything was smooth and hunky-dory, because we're learning. And so I have gone through very extensive spiritual studies, many more than a decade now of experience with meditation, also understanding how mind, body, spirit, and emotions are connected, and also using metaphysical laws of transforming our lives. So the concept of trauma and the perspective that I bring on trauma is rather eclectic. It comes from more of the spiritual sciences and also the sciences that have been passed from generation to generation, something that would be known as more of let's say like traditional wisdom of the ages and wisdom of the healers from different cultures. So why for many people trauma is an unacceptable and challenging experience is because they think that there is something wrong with them or they have deserved it, especially if such trauma occurred for children in a young age. For instance, me growing up in Russia, I was in an environment that was rather toxic, and so how did I deserve it? I was an innocent child. I was born pure, beautiful, amazing, with so much purity and just appreciation for life. How did I deserve it? And so I'm not going to go into the hows of today. There are many belief systems about reincarnation and past lives, and I'm not going quite there today. But what I want to talk about is that one of the perspectives that has helped me greatly is that challenges that transpire in our lives are there to awaken us. And this is a perspective of life as a journey where we're discovering our purpose, discovering our power that is within ourselves. And I have this wonderful friend with me, and I've used this friend before. It's a unicorn. And unicorns are known for magical powers, so I'm going to use it for the same purpose. And my little unicorn here, I use it always for the didactic purposes. My little unicorn here is telling me and you that you have wonderful powers within yourself to move on, basically to move on. The magic of the spirit and the magic of the internal source and power comes from being able to notice and also being able to draw strength and draw inspiration from things that have occurred in our lives. So I'll give you an example. I had a client recently who has been recovering from a breakup, and it really has been a very challenging and unfortunate situation. From the outside perspective, many things have happened that he did not deserve. And so he really was struggling with making sense of why is it that it has happened. He also shared with me kindly that he does believe in the spiritual source and that everything there happens for a reason. Well, instead of thinking of, okay, what is the reason there? What am I to learn from this situation? How did I attract this to myself? First of all, be kind. Be really, really, really kind to yourself. Because to understand that we do have power and we attract things into our life doesn't mean that there is something or anything wrong with us. But what this really speaks to is that we are in the process of becoming continuously whole and continuously in alignment with what we think. And I want to bring it back to the thought patterns. Yes, of course, some of the things that have transpired in his life, my life, and lives of many people, they have been challenging, and there is no need to belittle yourself or blame yourself in any way for those things that already did occur. What important is, however, is how do you take this perspective right now? And are you worrying if something like this would repeat again in the future? Because one of the aspects of trauma is something that is called repetitive thinking. Well, if something like that happened in the past, what is the guarantee it will not happen again? How can I trust myself? How can I trust life? How can I trust the universe that it really protects me and it wants the best for me? It puts many of us at a disadvantage of really being and staying in this innocent space of love and joy. And this is one of the aspects that needs to be, first of all, accepted, but then remember, there is really nothing to worry about. When you align yourself with gratitude, appreciation, joy, and love, you really have nothing to worry about. It's not a small task. It sounds so simple, and it sounds so innocent. And yet, there is really nothing to worry about when you align yourself with that inner core that some people call the higher self, but I would also call it just the higher choices for the way you think about your life, about the money and income, friends, partnership, your job. And what happens in the process is that instead of finding yourself thinking about the past or trying to understand the situation of why did this happen to me, what am I learning from this whole experience, learning will happen on its own. But what I've also noticed is that the learning always moves us in the direction of love and in the direction of joy and in the direction of frivolous and completely full of trust child, the innocence that we're born with. And if anything, that is always the lesson, and that is always an opportunity for a personal choice that is there for every single person, no matter the background, no matter the circumstances, and no matter the experiences. I think it's always easy, and it's always easy to think, oh well, someone has it easy in life. And I tell you, I've never met a single person who has it easy. I've always been inspired by people who have had challenges and they have overcome those challenges. And that what makes us really people who are on a journey. We're both spiritual beings and human beings. And our job and our purpose, our mission, our meaning here is to always align with our inner child, the pure inner child, the divine inner child, and the one that is able to see life through the prism and the lens of innocence, joy, and love. And so, in closure of this recording, I would love to do a little meditation, maybe just a minute or a couple of minutes of meditation. I invite you to close your eyes, and I will keep mine open, but I will go internally within myself. I invite you to close your eyes and take a nice and deep breath. And as you're breathing in, I want you to take time for yourself. There is no rush. And as you're doing that, bring love into your breath. And think to myself, I'm so grateful for this body that I live in. I'm so grateful for all the wonderful things I do have in my life. I open to kindness. I open to loving myself. I open to being my best friend. I open to taking care of myself, my body, my mind, my income, my job, my creativity, my spiritual life. And every step that I'm making forward on this journey, I take free from worry. I accept myself. I love myself. I appreciate myself. I open to speaking kindly to myself. And I smile when I think that every day I get to spend with myself. I rejoice with the thought that I wake up to be with myself. I am my best friend. I am there and here with myself from birth to death. And I commit to being my best friend. Take it with you. Take it into your life. And remember to love yourself always, always, no matter what is going on. Gratitude for tuning in. Have so much appreciation for sharing this time with you. And I wish for myself and for you to really enjoy and take the most out of this wonderful journey that we call life. I want you to be healthy, happy, prosperous, in beautiful relationships, and fulfilled, creative, and in love and enjoy. If you would like to hear more about my work, I would love to share my website with you. It's www.mariashiko.love, MariaShiko.love, L-O-V-E. I work with clients individually. I also offer sometimes workshops and group sessions. So if you would like to stay tuned, get on my email list, or just send me a message. I would love to hear from you, to have a feedback from these conversations and see how they work from you. Just would love to hear in any way. Send me an email. Much appreciation and lots of love. Have a wonderful day.